It's Wednesday, December 29th, 2021, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, 159 new cases of COVID-19 reported in country. Health officials confirming a fourth wave of the COVID-19 virus. Churches implementing new measures to avoid community spread, and the national flag carrier going cashless. So, let's start the morning off right.
It's definitely a new day. Yes, it's a new day. It's Wednesday. We've got about 2 more days left before 2022 rolls in. Good morning. I'm Desmond Saunders. Welcome to the morning edition. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling great and want to know what's going on in your neck of the woods, and we've got a great show for you. I want to remind you of a major press conference that's going to be taking place at 2 p.m. By the Ministry of Health, and you can watch it right here on the ZNS Network. And it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that meeting, that press conference this afternoon. As you are aware, 159 new cases of COVID-19 reported in the Ministry of Health's latest dashboard, and churches now beginning to prepare for their watch night services and New Year's Eve celebrations. So we're going to see some additional measures from those in the Christian community to monitor and control the spread of COVID-19. This is a raging pandemic of wide proportions, and I can't imagine the impact. It's already making an impact globally, but the impact it's going to have, and it's going to remain with us for quite some time. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and it continues to evolve. All right, so I'll end it by that. But later on in the show, we're going to head to Exuma. There's a stray dog population, active stray dog population in Exuma, believe it or not, and we've got some great folks in Exuma who's working to contain the stray dog population over there, so we're going to head to Exuma. And we've got some great news from the sporting community. DeAndre Ayton making big headlines and making some big deals, and we're going to find how that is going. So New Year's Eve is upon us. My New Year's Eve, I normally go to Junkanoo, hang with friends and family, but no Junkanoo. No Junkanoo. I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably going to be in church, but I know Lloyd Allen, he's probably got some celebrations on lock for New Year's Day. Joining us with traffic this morning. Lloyd, how is your New Year's Eve going to look?
Well, of course, good morning, Desmond, and good morning, Bahamas. A great start to your Wednesday morning. Your first look at traffic, this one coming in from the intersection of Wolf Road, Blue Hill Road. As you can see right behind me is a smooth flow of traffic. That's a northbound lane on Blue Hill Road heading into the downtown area. If you're using this route to get to your destination today, there should be no obstructions. So, of course, we're advising drivers always to drive with caution and with care. Later on, we're going to talk with Officer Patrick Camp in regards to traffic collisions. But Officer Camp, of course, give us an update on traffic developments over the past 24-hour period.
Good morning, Lloyd, and good morning, Bahamas. Within 24 hours, we've had some 13 accidents. One involved with injuries. And again, like you mentioned, we're going to continue to encourage the drivers to drive with due care and attention. A lot of persons are not taking in consideration that in the manner in which they drive would most likely cause an accident, injuries, or even it can be fatal.
Well, of course, I appreciate that, Officer Camp. And, as we spoke earlier this morning, you shared a bit about an increase in hit and runs. And while that's unfortunate, what do you advise motorists to have in their possession in the event that there's any kind of accident to really speed up the processing of that incident?
Well, by now, Lloyd, the drivers out there should know by now that it's basic. You need to have your driver's license on you. That should be on your persons at all times. The insurance and your title certificate. That's very important. We come in contact with too many people who who are not in possession of these documents. And not only you risk being fined for not being in possession, fined or risk being detained by a police officer, taken to the nearest station until somebody can provide those documents that you say you might have at home.
Well, Desmond, as you can hear, of course, those are some of the important essentials to have in the event of an accident.
Well, Lloyd, thank you very much. It looks like it's busy on that thoroughfare that you have there. Talk about New Year's Eve. I want to know the plans you have for New Year's Eve. And I know...
Well, I think we're having some technical difficulties, but of course, as a quick wrap-up of your Wednesday traffic report, back to you guys in studio.
Thanks much, Lloyd. We'll try and get that sorted out. Weather-wise, staying on the outside, high pressure remains over the islands for all areas. Weather mostly sunny and warm, becoming fair and cool tonight. A bit breezy in the southeast Bahamas. The daytime high temperature, 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Overnight low temperature, 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's a look now at your extended forecast. New cases of COVID-19 reported in the Ministry of Health's latest release. 149 in New Providence, 5 in Grand Bahama, 2 in Exuma, 1 in Abaco, and 2 locations are pending. 28 of the cases, 25 from New Providence, 2 from Grand Bahama, and a case from Abaco have a travel history within 14 days. 89 of the newly infected are females. Hospitalizations remain low at 17, 16 moderately ill, and 1 in the ICU. 1,538 cases are active. There have been 4 new recoveries. A sustained surge in COVID-19 cases could mean only one thing: a fourth wave is upon us. That from Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Michael Jarville, after the Bahamas had a record-breaking single-day tally of 330 new COVID-19 cases on Christmas Day and reported some 665 cases between Thursday and Sunday. Dr. Darville says just how the country manages will be largely dependent upon the public and its adherence to COVID-19 safety protocols.
Our job now as a country and as the Ministry of Health to begin now to prevent that aggressive exponential growth, because you must remember that the waves, they don't last forever. And it's how we handle the wave will determine what our end outcome would be. I would like for it to be with as minimum impact as possible, without shutting down the country, without limiting the movement of people, and for us to demonstrate to the world that we can be responsible. We can ride through this wave and we can come through with minimum collateral damage.
With new measures in place with regards to large gatherings, the question arises about New Year's Eve celebrations at hotel properties. Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, suggested there is some differentiation between mass events and normal hotel operations.
If a hotel is running its facilities, they're able to run their facility. A mass event would be one that requires a temporary license from the Commissioner of Police. If I have a hotel, if I have a bar in the hotel, that's an amenity of the hotel. Just like restaurants are permitted to operate as well. So it is just the ad hoc events that are being targeted. Nobody has canceled the hotel's licenses to do what they have to do.
Officials at the Nassau Airport Development Company, which manages and operates the Lyndon Pendling International Airport, are keeping a close eye on the impact of the Omicron variant. This, as international reports indicate that thousands of flights have been canceled globally over the past several days. Here at home, there are also a number of airline cancellations.
For the holiday period, December 24 through December 26, 147 international flights arrived at LPIA. There were 6 cancellations, which represents just about 4% of the total international and U.S. flights that would have operated during the time. Given the busy travel period at LPIA and at airports around the globe, cancellations occur for a wide range of reasons. I'm unable to attribute the 6 cancellations to the new virus variant, but we continue to monitor the evolving impact of the Omicron variant very closely. Overall, we're very pleased with airport operations over the holiday period. Our airport partners have worked collaboratively to ensure that we are able to safely accommodate passengers and all arriving and departing flights. We have another week before the extensively busy holiday period comes to an end.
The national flag carrier, Bahamas Air, is going cashless come January 1st. Bahamas Air says it will no longer accept cash as a form of payment at the London Pinley International Airport. This includes payment for tickets and baggage. Passengers may make payments using debit or credit cards or accepted credit vouchers. Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, says government stance remains the same, that it will not support an electricity rate increase for Grand Bahama. Her comments come following a recent town hall meeting with officials from both the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the Grand Bahama Power Company. Moxie says government stance is in line with that of residents who also oppose a hike in their electricity bills from the Grand Bahama Power Company.
Grand Bahama Port Authority actually is the regulator of the power company, and in every 3 years they usually file for a rate adjustment. This is a part of that process. Of course, we would have issued a statement that we are not in support of any type of increase during this period, considering what Grand Bahama Island is experiencing from Dorian to the pandemic and for hurricanes even before that. And so we are still with the same position. We do not support a power increase at this time. The residents really can't handle it. But again, this is a part of the process that they should do when they request a rate adjustment.
2 Venezuelans pleading guilty to bringing in more than $25 million worth of cocaine into the country last Wednesday. Luis Perez and Jimmy Di Giacomo were sentenced to 5 years in prison and fined $1,000. The defendants also claimed that a police officer was to take possession of the aircraft and drugs and help them to leave the island. Through their interpreter, they also questioned why the officer was not being charged as well. Well, when we come back, churches implementing new measures to avoid community spread of the COVID-19 virus. You're watching The Morning Edition. Back after this.
Car insurance, home insurance, marine insurance, this insurance, that insurance. The truth is, you may not like it very much, but you need insurance, and it has to work for you. That's why Summit insurance policies are designed with you and your life in mind, fitting your lifestyle and needs perfectly. So you can rest comfortably knowing that your car, home, boat, and business are well taken care of. Contact our agents at Insurance Management today. Summit Insurance. We peak above all others.
Well, as churches across the country are finalizing plans for Watch Night and New Year's Eve services this coming Friday night, the increase in COVID-19 cases is a concern. In light of this, Christian Council President Bishop Delton Fernandez says new measures have been introduced to avoid community spread. He says the measures come following talks with officials at the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
We will reduce our capacity in our worship experience from 33% to 25%, that we will enforce the protocols in all of our services to protect our citizens and ourselves. We are asking that all churches that can, if you have windows, that you would open your windows, even though you're running AC, and I know that can be financially challenging, but to protect our congregants and those that come to our church, we're asking to ventilate those who are using the UV light to use it, that all must remain masked that are worshiping in our sanctuary. We are, as a church, stepping it up.
Bishop Fernandez says the measures are necessary to ensure that congregants are safe to worship.
We will go over the protocols again. We will ask that we really follow the protocols, that we do our very best to have wonderful, concise services, so that at the end of the day, God will be praised and we can worship Him in spirit and in truth, but we can do it in a safe manner. And so I ask that we celebrate the gift that is a new year and thank God for bringing us safe so far. But as church leaders, we're going to use the gamut of drive-ups. You might be in a drive-up service. You might be in an outdoor service. We're going to use maybe a virtual, a hybrid service. But you're going to be safe as you come to any of our churches. And I'm admonishing our pastors to take due care and caution.
Well, the silence that came over Bay Street on Boxing Day morning was heard loudly over various social media platforms, thanks to Junkanooers and their fans who flooded Facebook with old pictures, videos, and music clips of past parades. Some people even predicted winners for the various categories. Interesting, right? One thing's for sure, even though many were feeling the Junkanoo withdrawals, trash talking remained high on the list. Well, Public Relations Officer for the Shell Saxon Superstars, Kennedy Campbell Moss.
The good thing was that we had the opportunity with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture and the JCNP to do a virtual presentation. And of course, overwhelmingly, the Saxon Superstars were completely magnificent in our participation. We had an opportunity to come out and spank up the drums and get our cowbells and get our girls in perfect form. We had an opportunity to mesmerize the persons that were there. And the fun and the fantastic part about it is, once the Saxon Superstars lined up, the road just opened. You know, we were at a specific location, and the other groups, and I watched in absolute amazement. As the other groups performed, there was excitement. But as the Saxon Superstars emerged from the road, as you would say, the road literally opened up first. The people broke down the banners, and it was the Saxons.
Something to fill that void, right? Well, Public Relations Officer for the Valley Boys, John Williams, started his countdown to Bay from the beginning of the month by posting a picture of himself every day. And that still didn't fill the void.
Being so in love with Junkanoo and having to spend yet another year without it has been unimaginable. There are so many feelings and constant reminders about Junkanoo that make having no Junkanoo again all the more saddening. From driving down Bay Street, to hearing the Christmas music playing and seeing families gather, to seeing the social media reminders of years past, highlighting the process of costume production, practice nights, sleepless nights full of shark camaraderie, and of course, Junkanoo night itself. It's really a sad time for us Junkanooers, especially seeing so many events taking place, yet the main event of your cultural expression is unable to.
Well, with just 2 days left before the new year rolls in, many Bahamians are now reflecting on the historic events of 2021 and have begun setting plans for the new year. We took to the streets recently to find out exactly what their expectations or what the expectations of many Bahamians are heading into 2022. Many residents want an end to the raging COVID-19 pandemic.
No COVID. If we could control this COVID, that's basically it. Getting a hold on it and making sure that we, as a country, be able to stabilize ourselves financially.
Well, I wish for this country to be a safer place for everybody. I hope this coronavirus will be gone.
I'd like to get my home started and finished, and I'd like to see a betterment for the country. But so far it's going good, and right now I'd like to see the decrease in the COVID-19. The economy is going good, but if we have the COVID and rise, then it's going to drop the economy.
Well, some good responses, right? New Year's resolutions offer us a chance to identify specific ways we can improve our lives and make concrete changes for the better. Now, some residents are now looking towards shedding more pounds and becoming more spiritually conscious.
What you want to do? Want to see the people coming together and then success.
I wish the Bahamas for 22 would put God first. Because in this world, he said, put me first and everything will be added on to you.
As we head to the break, we take a look back today in Bahamian history. On December 29th, 1978, concert pianist and founder of the Nassau Festival of Arts and Crafts, Major Cumberbatch died after a long illness. Also on December 29th, 1997, orthopedic surgeon and founding member of the Free National Movement, Dr. Granville Bain, passed away.
Journey TV opens its season with life coach Shakisha Johnson, who shares how she endured abuse and rejection before discovering identity. This discovery put her in the direct path of purpose. Learn how she uses her life experiences to empower and build women from all around the world. Tune in for this powerful story right here on ZNS. Journey TV, we share life's truths.
DeAndre Ayton remains in NBA health and safety protocols, but he's still making news, this time off the court. After first signing with Puma in 2018 to help relaunch its basketball category, the Phoenix Suns' big man has landed a multi-year football and apparel endorsement deal to continue his partnership with the brand. The new deal is expected to place the Bahamian among the league's top 3 highest paid athletic brand endorsers at the center position.
I signed with Puma from the beginning. I wanted to be different. I didn't want to be like everyone else. I just wanted to start off different and start a new trend my way. And growing up in the Bahamas, the first brand really that I wore was Puma. That's all we saw was Puma. And a guy like Usain Bolt, who I looked up to as a star of the Caribbean and the face of the Caribbean when it comes to sports. That's the only thing he was repping. And showing his signs and logo, and Puma was everywhere. And that's really how I got so connected with that. So when Puma came with their offer the first time getting into the league, it was like truly an honor. And I was like, it was a no-brainer.
The Tabernacle Baptist Falcons senior boys basketball team was in a must-win situation yesterday at the Arby's Classic in Tennessee. The Falcons took on the Twin Springs Titans, with both teams needing the victory in order to play again today. Just like in their first game, it was competitive throughout, but in the end, the Falcons would go down 55-50.
You need to be able to control the things that you can control. Making layups, you can control that. That's just concentration. You're going up there, you have wide open layups you're missing. That's just a lack of concentration. You're going to the free throw line, you're missing free throws. You're turning the ball over. Those are things that you can control. And when you don't control those things, the end result end up being that you're going to lose the game. And that's exactly what happened today. It was nip and tuck pretty much the whole ball game. We came out in the second half. We started to trap them. They started to turn the ball over. We went on a, 7-8-0 run. Trapped them again. They turned it over. We're in transition to go up possibly 9 points. We missed the layup, It's a big momentum swing. They come down and hit a 3, and all of a sudden your momentum is gone. And basketball is a game of runs.
Well, despite losing both games, Tabernacle coach Kevin Clark called it a learning experience.
My boys get put in a situation again. Hopefully we'll know how to react to it. But the tournament is a great tournament. This is the best field the tournament has ever had. The most Division I signees ever up here. You got guys who signed with Kansas, Tennessee. You name the big time schools, you got the players up here.
The Sunland Stingers junior and senior boys basketball teams got a real treat yesterday during their trip to Florida. They were hosted for practice at Polk State Community College and got a real taste of what it's like to be a student athlete.
We went through some defensive drills for about an hour. We was able to work on our man-to-man stuff, also on some zone defense and also press defense. On offensive end, we were able to learn some new plays, out-of-bound plays, half-court sets, and also some transition plays that we'll use moving forward once we return back to Grand Bahama, hopefully if there is a season. But overall, our guys had a great time. Coach Giles, Brandon Giles, who is the head coach at Polk State, have some interest in some of our guys, and so moving forward for this year and next year, he'll be following those guys as the season progresses, hoping to eventually make some offers, or hopefully he can get those guys to the next level.
Do you worry that you or your loved one may get COVID-19 and possibly die? Getting a COVID-19 vaccine can lower your risk of severe illness or death from COVID-19. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is available, and currently, you'll only need one shot to be fully vaccinated. Talk to your healthcare professional about getting vaccinated. Continue to wash your hands, wear your face mask, practice physical distancing, and get vaccinated now.
It's an issue of grave concern for Exumians and tourists. Abandoned stray dogs and cats wandering the streets. Well, turns out the Exuma Animal Clinic, the Bahamas Humane Society, Exuma, Friends of Humane Society, and the Sandals Foundation have partnered to rescue the lost animals. Ellen Skykes from Exuma has been spearheading the effort.
We do have a serious issue right now. Prior to COVID, we were in very good shape. Visitors coming to the island were actually telling us that they were seeing a difference, that there weren't a lot of strays running around town and on the beaches. So it appears that a lot of animals had a lot of litters of puppies, and they were just turned loose on the streets, unfortunately. It's definitely an ongoing project. The first step has to be spay-neuter, so that we can keep more from being born and turned loose. And there has to be community involvement. We need people to help us bring the animals to the clinic, to get them spayed and neutered. And we need people to be more involved with their own pets and just, quite honestly, not let them roam freely on the streets.
Well, the partnership between the entities has also led to the neutering of animals to reduce the stray dog population. General Manager of Sandals, Emerald Bay, Jeremy Mutton, spoke about the resort's involvement in the project.
Friends of the Humane Society have established over the last few years. They do fantastic work. It's all volunteers, and what they do, the spay and neutering and just looking after any sick animals, and so we really applaud the work they do, and wherever we can, the Sandals Foundation will support them. A number of times, if they have sick cats, then they will be nursed back to health, and then we adopt them here on resort. So it's just, it's not nice for our tourists on the island to see animals that are not cared for. It speaks on us. It speaks on us as an island.
Well, here's an interesting story for you this morning. A once popular landmark in 8 Mile Rock, Grand Bahama, which was built nearly 60 years ago, is being demolished. Jay Philippe has more.
Eyewitnesses and residents in the area say the well-known building was once a popular entertainment hangout for persons in the 8 Mile Rock community, which they believe was built around 1964. When construction started on the building in the early 60s, Rodney Forbes was a part of the construction crew.
It was constructed by a gentleman over in Nassau by the name of Fernandez, Stafford Forbes, I myself, Olson Smith, which was Dora's son, and another block layer of the West End by the name of A.J. used to call him. They were the block layers.
Another 8 Mile Rock resident, Ken Russell, also recalling his childhood memories on the community landmark.
Only thing they used to do is just come out and hang out around there, you know. It was just a place to hang out. You come, and most of the young fellas used to come here and shoot pool. It was a place for them. It was basically one of the only places, really, I guess, in the 80s where they used to come and shoot pool, things like that, you know. That's what it was.
Lead contractor spearheading the demolition of the building, Bert Campbell, tells us that, from his knowledge, many persons in the 8 Mile Rock area have been lobbying for the building to be brought down.
Everyone in 8 Mile Rock always wanted it down. One time we used to use this building as a shelter for the bus stop when it rained. and all of a sudden it's an eyesore. It needed to come down a long time ago.
And now that the building is being demolished, plans to erect a new structure is in the works.
We're looking at the first quarter in January, but we're looking to do big things. And we're looking to give back. And that's the most important thing. This family is looking to give back because it's one family. It's the Russells, it's the Smith. It's, a collaboration, and they're all one family. It's one community.
Pintard says once construction has commenced, the proposed new building will serve as a community-based project that will benefit young persons in the area.
Well, that's a wrap. That's going to do it for our show this morning. It's been great hanging out with you. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. And don't forget, there's a major press conference happening at 2 p.m. The Ministry of Health putting on that major press conference, and be sure to tune in to the ZNS Network for that event, all right? TV and radio updates throughout the day right here on the ZNS Network. Then you can tune in to the Northern Edition at 6:30 and the Bahamas Tonight at 7. Thank you so much for joining us. Make it a great day.